Go get it, nation. It is 3 o'clock Eastern time here on Tuesday. And after a brief 1-week hiatus, we are back. Like Jimmy Fallon used to say on Saturday Night Live, we're back with Ringside. And we're going to have some fun. We're going to have a raw and real chat. There's no script. There's no safety net. I don't have a list of the same 10 this is your life questions that you hear on most all these other podcasts. We're going to be thinking on our feet. We're going to be talking the VO biz. We're going to be talking podcasting. We're going to be talking getting in the ring, all sorts of cool things. And it is my honor to welcome this guy to the show. Because let me tell you something, it's not every day that you interact with someone that truly walks the walk. He is in the trenches, just like us. He's got the blue collar on his shirt when he wears a collar. And, he is humble. He is modest, but he's got great energy. And my only regret is that I've waited so long to ask him to be on the show. I've had the pleasure to be on his show. He is the co-host of a VO's Padded Room podcast. Mm-hmm. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend, my colleague, my brother from another mother, it's Brad Storm is here. What's up?
Oh, yeah, baby. And you know what happens when it rains, it pours. And that's what Brad Storm's all about. High energy and lightning in a mic. I'm glad to be here, bro.
And we bring the branding right in on the first interaction. I love it. That's a page out of the Go Get It handbook. Let's welcome some of the folks who have joined us here.
Right on.
You could be watching us on Facebook Live, LinkedIn Live, or YouTube, or joining us on Clubhouse. And if you are, please mute your microphone. Make sure you let us know that you are here, and we will give you the requisite shout out. Let's say hi to the big dog, Jim Cooper. Woof! He's in the house.
Oh, yeah.
Just had the pleasure of hanging out on his podcast, The Hydrant. That was a hoot. My wife was nuts on that show. Greg J. Gibbons has hopped on. Robert Jonathan, the animation voice. What's up, brother? David Hinojosa is here. Thank you for joining us, David. And we'll make sure to return and give shout outs if you guys jump on and let us know you're here. But let's dive right in, man, because, when you reached out to me and you said, hey, man, we want to get you on a VO's Padded Room podcast, I literally had to do some homework and go, what is this thing all about? And what struck me, what attracted me to it, and what I want to give you all the kudos you can handle is that it's not the typical. You guys do things that are left of center, and you have a lot of fun.
Definitely.
And you do a lot of improvisation, which is cool. So do me a favor, for the folks who have been sleeping under a rock and have not heard of VO's Padded Room podcast, give us the elevator speech on that, would you?
VO's Padded Room podcast. Well, it's a love project for me and a guy named Big Jim Media. And we kind of connected in a mastermind class that was run by Anthony Pica. And we built a friendship in there. And I have done podcasts in the past. I've been around podcasts, whether it was MMA Mayhem or Enter the Flex Zone or whatever you have. And I didn't want to do it anymore. I was just getting burnt out of people screwing me over because I'd worked my ass off. Yeah, well, I'd worked my ass off, and then nobody else was pulling their weight. There were some people that did, but the people that I was interacting with and working with as co-host and, together, they just weren't working. And I just got exhausted, and it was just letdown after letdown. But Big Jim, I have to tell you, that dude's like my brother, because he got me out of the depths of depression, and he brought me back and said, hey, Brad, we can do this. We can do it. And I said, okay, well, if we're going to do it, our goal needs to be like 25 episodes before we start sharing it on creating our own social media stuff, before we just unleash it to the masses, because I wanted to make sure that Jim and I were on the same page, that we had specified roles. I wanted, as my previous podcast, they didn't work because we didn't have roles assigned to us. And so we figured those roles out. And what the great thing about the podcast is, Jim and I love game shows, man. It was like when you were sick at home from school, you didn't go to school, or you had a half a day. What are you watching? The Price is Right,
Yeah,
or no whammies, no whammies, stop. So we watched
Press Your Luck.
Luck.
I remember that one.
Yeah. And so I was like, we got to do something different. I had entered the Flex Zone. I talked about people's journeys, and it was great. I said, well, maybe we could take people to the past at the beginning, go, hit up their childhood, see what they were like. But then the 20-minute marker comes around, we get that game show going, and Jim, that's his baby. So he gets the scripts ready. We've been doing a lot of Weird Al Yankovic scripts lately because he's just a funny dude. And when you get somebody reading one of those and, spinning a character on it, it's really amazing. But we get people to do what they do well, but we kind of put a twist on it because they don't know what's coming. You didn't know what was coming.
I remember when you had me on the show, and I'm not a talent, but, I'm obviously in the voiceover talent space. But you had me perform a scene from Fight Club as Mickey from Rocky.
Mickey, yeah. You did an excellent job, by the way.
Oh, man, my throat still hurts from that. Let me tell you something. That was fun, man. We had a really good time. And, you check your ego at the door when you do those things because you're going to get some laughs and some good-natured ribbing. But, I had heard some of the other episodes that you've done with the other guests, so I kind of knew that was coming. I just didn't know what you were going to have me read.
Yeah, and you were on episode 5 and 6. We broke it off in 2 parts because we're like, heaven forbid if we have an episode that's longer than 25 minutes or 30 minutes. I was very strict on my timing. And, nowadays, if somebody comes on at the 19-minute marker, I do this. And so they know that the game show is about to happen. And so, it's grown since then. I can't wait to have you back on. But
hey, man, you say the word. I'll get my lozenges ready for you.
Yeah, and the cool thing is, I'm going to say the word too. The cool thing is, we'll interview people that are just starting to people that are experts, because everybody has a story to share, and everybody wants to have some fun. And for the new people, it's great for them to break out of their shell and try something that's going to put the heat on them. They're going to,
Absolutely.
and the professionals, hey, we're going to throw you a curveball. So can you do it? Can you get the job done? We're going to find out. And you know what? It doesn't matter if you can or you can't. The bottom line is you participate, and we all have a good time. Yeah, we laugh.
A lot of laughing.
It goes by so fast, right? Life goes by so fast. And, we're always busy, grinding, which is great. But it's just good to let your hair down. So, Corey, how to let your hair down, right?
I let it all the way down.
And just have some fun, man, because it's all about fun at the end of the day. And at the end of the show, we have a topic of the show where we like to discuss something that's going on in voiceover, or, anybody behind a mic can relate. We'll interview anybody that utilizes a mic, or anybody that's in the profession, hiring voiceover artists or whatever. We don't, there's no limits.
Well, speaking of people who are joining us today, we got Charlie Wyrock is here, Damon Allums, and he mentions another blood in the hair MMA wild man in the voiceover space. Most excellent. Yeah, Damon is a huge MMA fan.
Yes.
And we've traded tons of conversation on that topic, which we're probably going to tickle here in a second. John Grimes has joined us. John McBride has joined us. D. Alvis is here. Man, the crowd is growing. What a great show so far.
Sweet.
And also Victor Singleton is joining us here on Clubhouse. Thanks, Victor, for listening. If you can just keep your mic muted while we're talking, I appreciate it. We were talking about your love of combat sports. You have a connection.
Yeah, big time.
In that world. And then that's another thing that kind of brought us together, is that, you've done some ring announcing, et cetera. So walk us through some of that.
I'm not going to go too far back. I want to go back to Connecticut School of Broadcasting. I'd be driving back and forth to work, and I was a fireman for 15 years, right? So I'd drive back and forth to work. I heard the ad on the radio. I was like, I got to check this out. And the school's great, but there's one thing that it did for me that I never was expecting. It helped me network with people that were like-minded in the fact that they loved MMA and they loved pro wrestling. two things I love dearly. I mean, pro wrestling, not so much anymore. I like the good old days from back when. But UFC fights, oh, I love watching fights. I used to sit ringside or cage side, and the blood would splatter like over on the table where we were doing commentary. So that stuff was like, whoa, that's great stuff. But the fight world, I was a ring announcer. We interviewed fighters. We had a podcast called MMA Mayhem Radio, which we created from the group that I met at CSB. And we got some pretty good recognition. I mean, one interview that we had, the guy puked all over our guy that was doing the interview.
Nice.
And yeah, we were front page on Yahoo Sports. We were on Tosh.0. We were on Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah.
Wow.
And, our video made it. I was like, did we make it? I don't know. But it was cool. It was cool. I love the fight game. And you know what? I'm looking to get back in the squared circle. I'm booking an event. I think it's in July. So it's not in the fight. It's not in fights, but it's in pro wrestling. But I'll take whatever I can get.
Michael Buffer has "Let's Get Ready to Rumble." Bruce Buffer has his signature line, or Jimmy Lennon Jr. It's Showtime. What is the Brad Storm's signature line to introduce the fight? Like, let's have some fun. I'm going to turn the tables on you here. I'm going to pull a VO's Padded Room podcast curveball at you. Okay.
Hey, I love it. I love it.
I want you to announce me fighting for the heavyweight championship of the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing in the blue corner. How much do you weigh?
235 pounds.
Weighing in at 235 pounds. He hails from the mean streets of Detroit Rock City. He is fighting for the heavyweight championship. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready because it's time to wage war with Corey the Hammer Dissin.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so ready to throw hands right now. Let's effing go, man. Come on, let's go. Oh, dude, that was killer. I love it, man. I love it. We have a lot of fight fans in the room with us, too. Alvis is bringing up the NWA, AWA days. Your partner jumped in here. Big Jim is here. He says, what's up?
What's up?
Thank you.
Yeah, we've been busy.
Us. And, I mean, that was epic. That was so epic. Thank you for doing that. That is definitely a moment in ringside history right there. Alvin says, boom, he's pumped. I mean, literally, my heart is going banging right now, man.
Well, yeah. And then, I'm about to pass out in the cage when I'm doing all these announcements, So I was like, I got to kind of, control it and all. But, my whole saying was, get ready to wage war. That was what I did. It's time to wage war, man. We got to get it going. It's a battle.
I love it. John McBride says, better than Howard Finkel.
Gracias, my friend.
That's an old time reference right there.
Howard Finkel, I love that dude, man.
Speaking of old time reference, I know D made a mention. Just a little bit of a moment of silence, very quick, for the great, marvelous Marvin Hagler, who passed away too early. What a tremendous fighter he was. What a tremendous work ethic he had. Walked away from boxing while he was young, left a lot of money on the table. And it's just a shame. He was a workhorse. I know when he trained, he used to call his training camp prison.
Hey, it worked for him.
Yeah. I mean, he was just an unbelievable fighter. And it's a shame that he passed. And, I know you like some of the old school fighters too, because we've had conversations.
That was one of the first fights I saw. That's one of the first fights I saw was Sugar Ray and marvelous Marvin Hagler. Yeah, that
1987. I can remember
on HBO.
That. Yeah, I remember that fight. I thought Hagler won, but
I did too.
Sugar Ray was a sentimental favorite. So,
of course,
okay. That's
they can move.
So, you've taken this energy, this love of fight sports, this love of combat sports, and you kind of mix that into your daily life as far as how you keep yourself in shape. I mean, you've lost a lot of weight. And you've been sticking to it for months. I mean, and we talk a lot about on Discipline how you got to feed your body and your mind. And you got to be moving around. What would you recommend to Go Get It Nation that they might want to give a try you've had a lot of success with?
Well, I used to bang the weights, but I just, there's something, I guess, with the COVID and the gyms closing down and, me having to teach my daughter, homeschooler, I needed to find something different. And Diamond Dallas Page, like I said to you earlier when we were talking off the air, he was an inspiration to me. I interned at WCW back in '98, and I was able to sit with him and just chat it up. We played the WCW Nitro Super Nintendo game. It was a Nintendo game. I don't remember, but
cool is
he was a great. Yeah, it was really cool. And he came out with his yoga program. And now my wife would be like, "Hey, you should do yoga." I said, "Yoga? What is that? I don't want to do yoga." But I was in the hospital. I was told I was having a heart attack in August.
Yeah.
My buddy had passed away from, he had Pick's disease, which is dementia, pretty much accelerated dementia at 44 years old.
Oh.
And I was driving home from Georgia, heading to South Carolina. And I was having real bad chest pain, had a super panic attack. And I've been battling these for years, anxiety attacks and stuff like that. And so when the doctor told me, he's like, "This is really bad. You're having a heart attack." And I don't know what else to say. And I just sat there and I was just like, "What the hell?"
Jeez,
I said, "What the hell?"
You're a young guy.
I said, "Yeah, maybe that higher energy is, don't take it ever if somebody tells you to take it, because it's just not good for you." And I was gaining so much. I was 210 pounds at 5'8". I couldn't.
Wow.
It's like, what the? Yeah, I felt awful. And so I let my buddy borrow DDP Yoga. I hurt my back in the fire department. I let him borrow it. I said, "Hey, can I have it back?" Because he's not using it. So he gave it back to me. And in September 1st, I hit it hard. I said, "Hey, I'm going to do this 4 to 5 days a week." I didn't know if I was going to keep myself accountable, but then I ran into you. And then I ran into you, and I was already doing it, and I wasn't stopping, but you just kind of like put the extra emphasis in on me. You're like, "Yeah, you got to be accountable. You got to work hard. You got to, just grind it out, and and you got to be accountable on your workouts." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're right." And I used to be that way. So I want to be that way again. So I'm going on 7 months now. I've been doing it 4 to 5 days a week. I don't miss any days. I'll do it at 10 o'clock at night. I'll do it at 5 in the morning. It doesn't matter. I'm going to get it done because it makes me feel fantastic. When you stretch and that blood goes through your veins and you get it's better than 5-hour energy to me. Yeah, I was never flexible in my life too. I was always, short and stocky, and the older we get, the stiffer we get, right? So
no joke.
Stretching is vital. And
you lost a ton of weight.
Yeah, I'm down to like 195 right now. So
wow,
I mean,
good for you.
That's pretty good to me. And I cut out. I had some bad habits too, and I got rid of a lot of my bad habits. I was taking Xanax for my anxiety. Got rid of that. I was drinking too much. Got rid of that. I got rid of a lot of things because I know it didn't matter how much stuff you were medicating with. It didn't make you happy. But exercise did.
And that exercise, all the byproducts of working out and getting healthy had to translate into your business, and reflect your business started to grow too.
Yeah. And that's partly from you on that interview too. Episode 5 and 6 on a VO's Padded Room podcast, by the way.
Shameless plug time with Brax
But you talk about, pen to paper. How important is that? It's extremely important, right? I talked to Jim about it yesterday. I said, "Hey, if you got an idea or if you got something you need to put, that's great. Write it down because you'll forget." And I forget. I'm not getting any younger.
Document.
Yeah.
Document. And let me document a couple of people that have just joined us.
Go for it.
Charlie Toro is here. What's up, brother? Trisha Pollack is here. How are you? She is a personal trainer, friend of ours. Nice. Craig Acock is here. He's new to the Go Get It family. Thanks for joining us, Craig. What a great crowd so far. Let me just remind everybody a couple things. So we're on LinkedIn Live, we're on Facebook Live, we're on YouTube Live. We are also simulcasting on Clubhouse. We've done a lot of talking here. You have ample opportunity to ask questions for Brad because he is you. He goes through what you go through. He can
every day
to the day-to-day. He's trying to grow his business. He's putting out content. He's writing things down. He's getting his workouts in. He is subscribing. He's drinking the discipline Kool-Aid. Thank you for doing that, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
But, this is an opportunity. If you want to bounce something off one of your voiceover allies, this is an opportunity because Brad will, he'll shoot from the hip. He'll tell you from his experience what works. I would highly recommend, please ask some questions. We still have plenty of time here on the show. Let me see if there's anything cool in the comments here that I'm missing. Damon Allums wants to do an intro for me, a fight intro. We will make that happen, Damon. I would like to hear that. That would be pretty cool. David Hinojosa said, I'm guessing you were talking about Marvelous Marvin Hagler was robbed against Sugar Ray. Let's see. Yeah, Robert Jonathan gives a fist bump to N64 when you were talking about playing that with Diamond Dallas Page. How cool is that? Here's a question from John Grimes. What's a lesson that surprised you on your journey?
Well, when I started, I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and I really didn't have anybody to talk to. Right? It surprised me that if I just reached out to people, that they were willing to help. And that's a major thing, because there was random people I would talk to from time to time, but I was just like, it took me a while to just, stop caring. Stop worrying about is this person not going to like me because I don't have enough experience? Or is this person going to talk bad about me because maybe I suck at the moment? These are things that were playing tricks in my mind, of course, when you don't know anything, but you got to learn. And the only way to learn is to network and reach out. Right, Corey? I mean, damn
right. You got to ask questions and don't worry about, I don't even want to say the consequences, but don't worry about what the other person's going to think of you. That's the whole point.
Voiceover is a very likable community. Everybody's very positive. I mean, I don't know if it was the station I was at in the fire department, but a lot of people were negative. It was always like, oh, you won't be able to do this, or you won't be able to do that. And this is it's a nice change of pace. And if you have content and you're worried about putting it out, how the hell are you going to know if it's good or not? Put it out. I put out something yesterday. I totally sucked last year doing this read. And I said, okay, I'm going to compare this year to this, because I recorded it in March. And so I last couple weeks ago, I recorded an update and I compared both of them. And I said, hey, man, this is how far I've come. And I'm going to do it again next year. So it's okay if you're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. Just put
Damon
it out
Allen
there.
Has a question here. He says, having you on has rekindled his urge to get back into ring announcing. How do you get back into the swing of things? Now he's on the left coast. Maybe you can, I don't know if you've done anything in California, but maybe you can walk him through your experience locally where you're at.
No, Damon, Facebook and all the social media outlets you have, it's a wonderful thing. You can find any pro wrestling organization, indie or professional, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can find them all. And there's usually a promoter that you can reach out to and contact. So if you have a demo reel, that always helps too. If you have a ring announcing demo reel, that will maybe help you get into that door that you're looking to get into. So I would just, like I said earlier, just reach out to these promoters. Find the promoters you want to work with. And hopefully, in wrestling, sometimes it's hard to get paid. So you got to, especially on the indie scene.
Might have to pay your dues a little bit. Yeah,
you're going to have to pay your dues. And I always say in wrestling, if you can help put up a ring, take down a ring, I always help the promoter run the show. If something went, in wrestling, there's always something going on, whether the card's getting changed around or somebody broke their leg or somebody's sick or whatever happens. You have to help that promoter run that show, because I don't want people to sit around waiting hours on end because something's gone wrong. I don't want to be there forever either. So, just reach out and, if you have a booth, do some stuff in the booth, do some ring announcing. One of my best gigs that I got going on right now is doing the ring announcer stuff. I mean, I get people asking me to do that all the time, and it pays. So what the hell, right?
You gotta love it. Charlie Toro has a question. I don't know if he's breaking balls or if there's an inside joke here, but we'll ask it nonetheless. He said, "Hey Brad, paper or plastic when you go VO shopping?"
When I go VO shop,
I don't even know where to go with that. Charlie is he is a character, man.
Paper or plastic? It's both recyclable, so I do both.
There you go. And John McBride has a question. He does a lot of PA announcing himself. He does a lot of basketball and
Nice.
races and whatnot. And he's been looking to pivot towards voiceover to augment his events. What, in your opinion, was the biggest difference you found in transitioning from one to the other?
Not being so hyped up, bro. Not being so hyped up on these conversational reads or these authoritative reads or whatever reads you got going on in voiceover. You can't be hyped up all the time. You got to kind of turn the volume down. And if that takes somebody helping you out to do that, then, find those people. And, I'm still working on it. There's still things I got to work on. And that'll never end, by the way. It's never going to end. You're always going to have to work on something, but just, you got to tone it down. You can't be that ring announcer. They don't want the ring announcer anymore. That was back in the 80s and, the
you
70s.
Be that Don Pardo kind of, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So Anthony Palmini has joined us. What's up, Ant? Charlie Wyrock has a question. Brad, what's been your biggest achievement? And on the flip side, your biggest disappointment?
My biggest achievement, I was awarded Best Journalist, both critics and fans' choice in MMA. And that's one of the biggest achievements I've had throughout my career in the state of Georgia. One of my biggest disappointments was having outside voices dictate my future, because I should have stuck around with MMA Mayhem a little bit longer. But I had people going, you need to leave there. You need to get out of there. You're more than that. And I'm like, oh yeah, I am more than that. And I missed it though when I left. I totally missed it. And if I didn't worry about everybody else and just focused on myself, I think I would have caused some more damage there, because the positive damage, by the way. But that was a disappointment. I wish I wouldn't have left so soon.
Basically, you're saying trust your gut.
Yeah, trust your gut. Because I was winning awards, I was having a good time. I just felt like I was worried about other people. You don't need to worry about, it's good to have tunnel vision in voiceover. In fire department, they're like, oh, don't have tunnel vision. You don't need tunnel vision, but it's good to keep that focus on you and just get it.
Well, I can tell you from where I'm sitting, I trusted my gut when I sent you that request to come on the show today. And the energy was exactly what I thought it would be. Yeah. Too much fun. Let's do a little shameless plugging, please. Please tell Go Get It Nation where they can A, get in touch with you.
Okay.
And B, tune into the podcast, and maybe there's a guest or two coming up you want to promo a little bit.
Yeah, you guys, you can check me out on Instagram and Twitter at BradStormVO, Brad Storm Voiceover on Facebook Business, Brad Storm on YouTube. Brad Storm Lanou on LinkedIn, and Alignable, even on Alignable, Brad Storm Lanou. And hey, you can check out a VO's Padded Room podcast on Stitcher, Spotify, Captivate, Apple Podcasts, and Ghana. I didn't even know anything about Ghana. We are kicking butt in India, my friend.
There you go. That's awesome, man.
And we're on YouTube as well. I'm going to be creating, since we're hitting episode 25 here shortly, I'm going to be creating a lot of social media, sites dedicated to the show. But we got some great guests coming up. James Lott Jr. is with JLJ Media, and he's involved in a lot of audio dramas. He's very entertaining, and he's kind of over the top like me, which I like. And nice. He's going to be coming on this week. Next week, we just finished recording it. Anthony Pica will be making his way for episode 25. He's going to talk about, we take him back to when he was a little kid, because everybody knows about, like, if they've listened to his podcast, they know about his journey through voiceover. So we took him back way back, and we touch on some important topics.
Good.
And we have a nice little improv session with him as well. We're also going to have my friend Washeki Wamba on the show in April. Joe Martinez from the UFC is going to be on the show, and he's going to talk about, keeping it cool in the ring, So, hey, if you're a ring announcer and you want to learn more, that might be a great episode to check out.
I love it, Brad. It's been too much fun. I got to say, the ring intro was epic. I'm still reeling from that. I am buzzing off of that. I'm totally going to go back and listen to it when we're done here. You're a good sport. You set a great example.
Yes,
Keep doing what you're doing. Keep pushing that boulder up the mountain. You obviously know that I'm here for you if you need anything.
Thank you.
And I appreciate you going ringside with us today.
Thank you. And if I have one thing to say is, if life gets you down, you got to punch every day in the face.
Yeah. Punch failure in the face too.
Exactly.
And we'll close it out with our favorite saying, go get it. Yeah.